Hey y'all, I'm Kristen.
And I'm Bailey.
Welcome to Livin on a Prayer.
We're two best friends who are here to keep it real and relatable.
Through life's hills and valleys, we're here to remind you we're all just living on a prayer. All right, girls and boys, welcome back. Do y'all ever go get a coffee?
Wait, keep going. Welcome back to Living on a Prayer pod.
We hope y'all had a wonderful Thanksgiving.
What were you going to say? Ask the people about the coffee.
I'm going to ask the people about the coffee if y'all ever are so excited to go get a hot coffee and then you're worried that when you sip it, it's going to be too hot. It's going to burn you.
It literally burned my tongue bad, but it's so good. I want to chug it.
I haven't even taken a sip yet because I'm a little nervous.
Okay, I know what we're talking about today. Do you want me to tell you?
What if I don't want to talk about this?
I think you're going to enjoy it.
All right, hit me.
So, your faith is like a cup of coffee.
Okay.
Lukewarm faith does nothing for you. So think of it like this. Coffee is only good when it's hot or iced, right?
You have to be one or the other?
Do you ever have a hot coffee and at room temperatures and you take a sip and you're eh? But it could just be a new iced coffee, but it doesn't hit like an iced coffee. It just tastes like a cold hot coffee.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's not good. That's gross. Lukewarm coffee does nothing for me. Lukewarm faith does nothing for you either. You're either
You're
all in or you're
out.
all out. You're either hot or you're iced. Hot or you're cold.
You're hot, then you're cold. You're yes, then you're no.
Had to have a song. But really, what is lukewarm faith doing for you? Nothing. If you are not 100% in on your faith, surrendering and giving it to God, but you're dabbling in it, but then you're doing things oh, well, I got to figure this out, or you're trying to handle stuff on your own, but then sometimes you're but God, that, it's never going to work like that.
No.
You're either all in or you're all out.
Friendship, relationship.
Everything.
It's the same thing.
Lukewarm faith is very it's honestly too being, I guess, even a lukewarm Christian. It's when you preach but you don't practice what you preach. Mm-hmm. Or you say, oh, I'll just do church once a week and that's all I'm giving to God for the whole week. Or right. You don't go to church at all because you don't have time, but you have time for other things like we've talked about. Mm-hmm. So really, even just a lukewarm Christian, if you will, you're not going to get the most out of your life when you're lukewarm.
No. And when you really pour into it.
Pour that
and
coffee.
Heat it up
in the microwave, on the pot, however you got to heat it up.
Yeah. But when you heat it up and you really, you go there with it.
Yeah.
And you dive into it, your life is going to change before your eyes.
It's going to flourish. So if you drink your faith while it's hot and you believe in Jesus, you're on fire for Jesus, your life will be completely different.
Yeah, I agree.
I think before, I guess a year and a half ago, I would consider myself had been a lukewarm Christian.
Right. We were going to church and we believed in God and we would talk about God and we would talk about our faith and we would pray here and there, but we were never, it wasn't on our mind.
For God.
Right.
No.
It wasn't on our mind. It wasn't it wasn't fully there.
Right.
It wasn't at the forefront of things we needed to do.
Everything
it wasn't at the top of our to-do list.
Yeah. When something bad happened, we'd be oh, I'm going to pray about it. Or can you pray for me? But were we really giving it, surrendering it to God or asking for true direct, listening for direction?
No, I was trying to control it.
We were trying to control it. And then also emotions for me, when I would get anxious or worked up about something, a lot of times I would act on my emotions immediately. If something bad happened to me or if someone upset me or whatever, I would in that moment just say how I'm feeling or go off about well, you did this or da-da-da. Or I would make quick moves oh, this needs to happen. This needs to change. And
I'm just going to tackle this right here, right now.
Which is more so me trying to be in control of my life, my relationships, all of these things. It 100% was not God's. Right. I was not giving it to him. It was his, but I wasn't giving it to him. Right. I was taking full control, responsibility. I'm this. So
he wasn't working in the way for the goodness of honoring his name.
Exactly.
Of what was best for you.
Exactly.
And your path, even though he knew that was
he
the
knew,
way that
and
it
he was
gonna
still
go.
like getting us here. But like
Right.
we made it a lot harder on ourselves by
Yeah.
just being like, well, this, that, and the other. And like even like I was actively going to church every Sunday I have been for years now. So it's like, but when I was in there, it's like, oh, good message or whatever. Like I wasn't trying to instantly apply it. And then now I go home and read deeper into it. And it's like,
Right.
I'm like trying to be, I'm really trying to like live for the Lord, like in every way possible. So I would consider me a cup of hot Christian coffee.
I love that. Are you so hot that you can't drink it yet?
Let me let y'all know. Pause. It's sippable now.
Yeah, mine's really good.
It is so good. Y'all,
I got the peppermint bark and white chocolate.
pretty much every time we record, we go to the reminding first.
Yeah.
And
just a
they
nice
are
little
incredible
pick-me-up.
people. They make delicious coffee and they have also really cute, just like happies in there. So if you're ever in Covington,
Take a little trip to the
go
reminding.
to the reminding, y'all,
in
seriously.
Terabella.
Because it's our favorite. I got the gingerbread latte and it's fire.
We are really in the Christmas spirit today.
Merry Christmas, y'all. I mean,
We're really rolling into it.
this is it.
Yeah. Right when Thanksgiving is over. Well, I feel like not everybody, but most people, like right after Halloween, it's Christmas.
It's
you
Christmas.
know, it's Christmas. We eat on Thanksgiving Day, and then
And it's Christmas.
You know,
Yeah. Like okay, so are you like a decorate before? Y'all don't decorate till after Thanksgiving.
I
now.
decorate after Thanksgiving.
After Thanksgiving.
I like to enjoy each holiday.
So
I
you're
love the fall.
You still love a pumpkin.
I love a pumpkin,
Yeah.
and I don't like to pass up
I know.
Thanksgiving.
I know.
think it's so
it's
important
actually always like really bothered me
when people do
to
that.
pass it up because you know
for
why?
you to pass up. Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't care what other, like you can pick your holidays. Like I'm not
you
like
love- yeah, if
I'm
you
not
love
one of
it.
those one that's like you. This is so random, but I remember like this was like 6 or 7 years ago. One day I made this like Facebook status back when like Facebook statuses, and I was like, guys, why do we have to hate on people so bad who skip Thanksgiving? Like let them skip Thanksgiving and you have Thanksgiving. Like you don't have to like be mad at people for skipping it. Like it's gonna be all right. But some people I know are very like, you don't skip Thanksgiving. I don't skip Thanksgiving because I love the food and the pumpkin. Like I feel like when you like decorate for Thanksgiving and you eat the Thanksgiving, like the decorations like go with it.
Yeah.
Like to
Fall
eat
vibes.
Yeah. Like to eat, like my mom won't switch her house till after Thanksgiving because she's like, we can't be like having Christmas table setting and it's our one Thanksgiving of the year.
Right, exactly.
Take advantage.
Right.
So
but being thankful and grateful
it's an important one.
Well, and I think honing in on that before you switch to
Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays.
and happy birthday to Jesus. Like
Jesus!
that is the
Happy
point.
birthday.
Let's talk about this. Rolling into that.
It really is Christmas though.
It is. But okay, did you watch the lighting of the tree in Rockefeller Center?
Yeah.
You did. You
I
watched it on
did
TV.
because I'm going to New York tomorrow. And I'm so excited. So I watched it. I watched it.
Okay, so when we went to New York a few weeks ago, this is a really good, like, I'm loving this.
I'm going to take a sip while you keep
Okay.
talking over there.
So when we went to New York a few weeks ago, we did a
good.
lot of different things. And we went and saw 2 shows. And one of them was just a Broadway play that I had been dying to see.
Oh, yeah.
And it was the first show of the 2 that we were seeing. And I was so excited to see it. It had a guest star in it that I was like
Dying
so
to
excited
see,
about.
yeah.
And I had been doing my research because I know the shows I like to see when I go there, but I wanted to see something
So
new.
you're like a New York regular or something? Like what's your go-to show?
Chicago, hands
Oh.
down.
So am I making a mistake not seeing that while
No.
I'm there? Because I don't have
You don't have time.
Okay.
We'll go back.
Okay,
I'll
great.
go with you. No,
I would love to see
I just
Chicago.
think that one is like a classic Broadway
It's
show.
so
It's
good.
iconic.
Yeah.
Being a dancer my whole life,
Yeah.
like the music, the
Gotta see it.
musical theater, it's just so entertaining,
Yeah.
right? Okay. And I had seen like a couple others just growing up that I liked, but I wanted to see something new. And so, I go down the TikTok rabbit hole of, what are the top ones to see right now. I get on the internet, I check like what they've got.
Right.
I go read all the storylines, and this one had a guest star, and we had done dances to them and dances to the songs in the past. So I always like something that I'm familiar with,
that's
right?
like relatable.
Yeah, that I have a little connection to. So I'm like, okay, well, this sounds great. And it was on the top 5 of these Broadway critics. Yeah, of if you're going, these are the 5 that you really need to look into seeing. And this one's been around forever. And then I think the other 4 were newer ones.
Okay.
That they don't know how long they'll be around. But anyway, so we get there. I'm so excited about it. And in the first 7 minutes of the show, like I'm not even joking, could have been less than that, I was like sitting back in my chair. My eyes were big and bugged. And I was like, I can't be here. This is not good. This is really not good.
It wasn't good?
So I stayed the whole show. The whole show was like 2 hours and 45 minutes.
Oh, shoot.
Okay, so
That's long.
yeah.
In the first 7 minutes, she said, I got to go.
In the first 7 minutes.
Stays for 3 hours.
My eyes were just big. Well, the way the theater was set up was like a circle. And, like, you couldn't just, like, get up and walk out and go to the bathroom.
Oh.
Like, nobody was getting up.
Oh.
It was very, like, interactive, very close, very intimate. You weren't getting up.
Yeah.
I don't even know how I would have gotten out of there. Like, I would have had to climb under stuff, and it was weird.
Oh, that is so, what do you mean climb under stuff to get out?
Just the way that it was, like, set up. Like, I couldn't just walk out in the middle of people. It was weird. Okay, so.
Okay, bye.
It was myself and 3 other people. It was my mom and her best friend and her best friend's sister. And, they're obviously like older than me, and I'm watching this like so uncomfy, but nobody's saying anything. And I'll tell you why it was uncomfy. It wasn't that it wasn't good. Like, obviously the artistry was good, the show itself was good, but it was very I'm like trying to pick the right verbiage. It was very inappropriate.
Oh no.
And I'm an adult. It was very inappropriate.
So it was uncomfortable.
It was very uncomfortable.
It was questioning your like morals.
Okay, so yes, it was questioning my morals.
Like you were like, this isn't. I don't
feel good. This doesn't make me feel good. Like nothing. I think I just need to close my eyes. Like maybe I should take out my phone and play on my phone. But that's so rude. It's very close. Very intimate.
So this was giving like when you're just like, no, you're in the wrong place. Like it is not godly. It's not for you. It's not.
Jesus was not in that room.
He was.
Oh no.
It wasn't good.
Oh no.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm glad you made it out alive, girl.
Okay, so the first scene, like this show was 2 hours and 45 minutes, and it was broken up by a 1:15-minute
like break,
intermission.
Yeah,
and the first portion was an hour and 45 minutes, and the second portion was 40 minutes or something like that. So. I mean, I sat for an hour and 45 minutes, like just
like ooh.
Questioning things, and then I'm thinking to myself, okay, I picked this show. I mean, they all agreed to it. They all agreed. I made sure that everybody was okay with it.
Yeah, but it's not your fault because like
there's a movie. It's
had
an
good ratings. You know,
it's an old Broadway show. So like, my mom had said, I've seen the movie like time and time and time again. I would love to go see it, and everybody was on board, and so I'm thinking to myself, I cannot believe that this is what I picked. And if I'm feeling this way, like, I don't know, maybe I'm just immature. Like, that's what I'm thinking to myself. Like,
maybe I can't handle
maybe I'm just maybe I'm just immature, and like this being inappropriate is just
like you're not able to handle it.
Maybe I can't. But then I'm like, no. This is a little, I'm going to say it. It was a little demonic. Like, it was a little like, let's see how you know.
Very, I don't like it.
Very like worldly push.
Yeah.
On you.
Yeah.
Not feel good. I'm like, I'm getting hot talking about it. It makes me so uncomfortable. Okay, so an hour and 45 minutes in, the intermission starts, and all 4 of us are like bug-eyed.
What's happening?
And so one of them stands up and is like, what's going on? And someone else said, I need to go to confession. Like, this makes me feel like I need to go to confession. I'm like, you're not doing anything wrong.
But it feels like
we're here.
Yeah, you're witnessing it. You're there.
So I went to the bathroom and I came back and I'm just looking at them 3 and they're just like standing there staring at each other. Like, there is no conversation being had. Like, it was so weird. The 2 people in front of us actually left. Now, I don't know their reasoning for leaving, whatever. But they left. And I think like we just didn't talk about it because I think none of us really knew like
you all knew that you didn't agree and that it was weird. So y'all were probably just like, let's move on.
Yeah.
Can we leave that in the past?
But we sat back down
y'all
and we
did.
finished the show. And I am not going to discount or discredit the fact that the show itself was wonderful. Like, the dancing, the artistry, the costuming, the makeup, the singing was freaking phenomenal. Incredible. These people are gifted. Yeah. They're very gifted. They are very talented. The monologues, like I never really understood like monologues, and I wasn't a theater person, you know? I just like appreciate the art. They were insane. Yeah. I was like, ooh, okay. Ooh, I believe this. Ooh, like I was very invested.
They were getting it.
Yeah. And there were some parts that were not inappropriate. There were some parts that were okay. But there was a lot of it that was just icky. That's the best. Like my skin was crawling. Yeah. It was icky. And there was a voice in my head saying, this is not the room for you. Yeah. Like this is not...
And
this
that
is not
could,
for you.
Really tie into like real life, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like things that happen.
Well, okay, so we leave. And so on the walk back to the hotel, I'm like, I'm so sorry. These are tickets I bought. And they're like, you didn't know. Like, we saw this years ago. And my mom's like, that is nothing like the movie. Like, yeah. And they have changed it to become more of what the world is
Yeah, they're
pushing.
Just trying to people please everybody, huh?
Yeah.
What's it called?
What?
What do they call it?
I don't know. What are you talking about?
Like, what do they call it when it's like you're just trying to, like, what'd you say? They're
like
trying to
appease the masses?
I don't know.
No, they had an agenda. That's the best thing for me to say.
What I'm trying to say.
Okay. They had an agenda.
Also, like, yeah, it's just like you're trying to, like, the way I kind of look at this kind of thing is it's like, okay, these big, I don't know who they are. I keep saying they. I don't know who they are. I'm just they and I'm they. So y'all just follow along. But they, again, they. I really don't know who that is.
Like the writers, the production,
like
people,
whoever. But even in the
directors,
in the world, they is like when they're trying to. It's like you want to appeal to everybody. It's like for them, like the safest way is to go like against God, basically, because
that's what the world is doing.
Us godly people are like, well, that no. But like, if it was like godly,
and we're not going to be judgmental,
right? But if it was people who didn't believe in God, and you were pushing like godly things, faithful, they'd be like, what is this?
Yeah,
I don't. But so the safest way for them is to just like try to relate to people who are across the board, just like, so it's mostly not godly things,
right?
Because.
It was so uncomfortable. I'm like holding my breath. I'm like, Okay, so moving on. So moving on, the next day was when we went to see the Rockettes.
That's what I'm going to see tomorrow.
And the Christmas Spectacular. Okay, so a lot of people think like it's just the Rockettes, but it's actually called the Christmas Spectacular, featuring the Rockettes. I'm so excited. If you've never been, you really should go. I try to, if I ever go to New York, try to plan my trips around the season that show is happening, because it's just,
you love it so much.
I love it so much. It's so joyful.
I can't wait.
So wonderful. And like obviously as a dancer, you look up to the Rockettes your whole life.
Literally.
So you want to see them. But I never knew that the Rockettes weren't, I called it the Rockettes. Yeah. I never knew that it was more of a show. Okay. Yeah. So we're in there, and the last time I went was pre-COVID. So 2019 was the last Christmas Spectacular Rockettes show I've ever been to. So obviously, like we're talking, things evolve, things change. The directors, the writers, the producers, everybody, they changed the shows. Right. So I'm thinking also in the world that we're living in today, that they took not the whole Christianity out of it, but years ago, like, it is Jesus's birthday. Yeah. That's why we celebrate Christmas. So in the show, they have a lot of that, right? Like it's Santa, it's elves, it's workshops, it's factories, it's dancers, it's joy, it's people caroling. Like, it's Christmas in the park. It's beautiful. Yeah. So, but I'm thinking, I don't want to give it away. I don't want to tell you.
Do not give it away right before. Is it like that big of a deal?
No, it's just really cool. Okay, I'm going to tell you.
I'll see it.
They have, and so they had, and I didn't know if they would have it again, but they have live animals.
Oh, cool.
They have camels, donkeys, sheeps, like all the animals from the nativity. Yes. So it's
in a manger.
Yeah, it's a whole live.
I love that.
It's a whole live nativity.
That is so cool.
They do the whole beautiful picture of Jesus's birth and with live animals. Really, really cool.
That's so neat.
You know, I'm thinking they don't give you a brochure. They don't give you a pamphlet.
Right. You just go in and
they don't give you a program of anything like they do in the Broadway shows. Because in the Broadway shows, they show you the scenes. They tell you every song that's sung.
Everyone who's in it. Yeah.
Stuff like that. They don't do that for this. And I don't know. Maybe there's a program I could have bought. I didn't buy it. I walked in. I sat in my seat.
Yeah.
But I didn't know if it was still in there, and I hadn't researched it. I just was like, we're going to see this. I'm buying the tickets. And so what was really, really beautiful to me was that was still very alive.
Yes.
And that was still very present in this show, right?
Yeah.
And then when I was watching the lighting of the Rockefeller tree the other night, you know, they were singing all of the Christian songs that you hear in church. And, you know, I feel, you know, a lot of these Christmas songs, you know, are just about joy and presence.
Right.
And,
Here comes Santa Claus.
Here comes Santa. Yeah. and not really about the true meaning and the joy
of what it is.
What Christmas really is. And just Silent Night, Holy Night.
Yes.
Like I think those are really important, and that wasn't taken out of any of this.
I love it. That's so exciting.
I think that's just really
it is
bright and beautiful and important, and
it's so important, and it's so good to like see too, because I've mentioned this before, but when I went to the Forrest Frank concert, I guess it was, I can't remember what month I went, not too long ago, but we were in Austin. It was me, my cousin, my aunt, and my mom, and to see how many people were like there to like worship him, and this whole concert full of Christians all there for the same reason, were to worship God and to sing. And we were like, you know, people try really hard to make it look like God's not still alive and that there's so few of us Christians left. That is so baloney.
Not true.
Like, we are still taking over. Like, God is still king.
Right.
He is everywhere, and no matter how hard people try to remove him, he's just going to hop somewhere else.
Yeah.
He's not going anywhere.
No, he's not.
And, like, neither are we, you know? Like, and it sometimes can feel like we're outnumbered just because of what we see on the news and social media. They're blasting all this other stuff, and you're like, how could this be?
Negative takedowns.
Like, this is just a simple example, but I started like my Instagram, you know how your algorithm changes depending on like what you Google and like what you read about and what you search bar
and what you're talking
about.
Conversations
and like
in front of friends.
entire, like, I was talking to my mom and Aaron like during the election, and they're like, gosh, I can't even get on Instagram, like everything. And I was like, that's so weird. My entire Instagram is like biblical quotes and like scripture and beautiful like reels. And I'm like, my algorithm is so set to like and I'm like, I'm seeing all these like viral Christian artists and viral just Christian influencers.
Well, and probably even if it was anything towards the election on your feed, it was the biblical side of the election.
Exactly. It was also positive and like, if this happens, do this. As if this happens, here's how to do this. Let's pray for these people and this person. And it was like, so I was so like, if you aren't looking up those things and you are looking into the news and all the other stuff, like, you can be easily blinded into believing you're alone.
Yeah.
And that's what the devil wants. He wants you to feel alone. He wants you to feel like, oh, you're a loser. You believe in Jesus. Like, you come over here to the dark side.
Right.
But like, meanwhile, I'm like, wow, this is bizarre. Like, before Instagram used to be so like, brought me a lot of anxiety, a lot of comparison, thief of joy type things.
And now it's changed.
And now it's like, I get on there and I'm like, oh, I love this. Oh, this is so great. This quote, this reference, this like person. I found people on there that I'm like, oh, I love her. I want to follow her.
Yeah.
So same thing, like even just that first show you went to, it's almost like you're like, what is this world coming to? Like, how are we here? And then
I literally felt like I had spiders crawling up my neck, and I'm like, when can I
yeah, like you can't breathe. You're being suffocated by the enemy.
I think my eyes were so big, and I think I was not relaxed.
You were not.
I was like not relaxed, enjoying the show. I'm like, so what's next?
Yeah, and like that's an example too of like when we've talked about numerous times, your gut feeling, like that is not, your gut doesn't speak to you.
We talked about this.
That was Jesus.
We were talking about this the other night because we still can't get over it. And I'm like, I'm so sorry I bought those tickets. And they're like, you didn't know. Like nobody knew. We thought it was like the good old original show.
Yep.
And
that happens in life. All the time. You think you're walking into something, you have this plan that, oh, this is where I'm going to go, or this is what I'm going to do, and all of a sudden you're like, abort mission, like what happened?
Right. And you know, and I think we were all so paralyzed with what was happening.
I can't even imagine.
That we didn't make the move, and we talked about it the other night. I said,
why did we stay?
Why did we, at intermission, why didn't we just leave? We could have. We easily could have. We could have just left.
But is that not so like a perfect example though of like us as flesh, like what we do? Like how many times we know better, and like how many times we're like, why didn't I just da-da-da-da? Right. But we're like, but I didn't because I thought, and that is like
we were so paralyzed with fear. We were so like I guess not fear. That's a bad word.
But like paralyzed with like,
I think we were so questioning what we were.
You were just shocked. Sounded like a lot of shock.
And like we really just wanted to go and enjoy a show.
And then here you are, and you're like,
we're going to have a fun time.
And
I will tell y'all, that is the only thing I would change about my trip. And I'm not saying what it is right now.
Yeah.
But if you like, if you would like to know, if you would like to know what show it was, we can talk about it a little more in depth. But
no, but
because again, I don't want to discount the
moral
writing,
of the story was not right.
The
art was beautiful. The moral of the story was not. Period. Like they were great. They were great artists. Like you're not discrediting them. But
there were just things in there that didn't need to be in there that apparently originally weren't in there, and people
added them in.
Changed it to be worldly things.
Yeah,
and shame on them.
That's all around us.
There it is. Shame on them.
Shame on them.
So that's all I'm gonna say. So if you want to know what I went and saw, we can chit chat about it.
But basically, Jesus is still everywhere.
Y'all know me. If you follow me, you know I take pictures
of everything.
Everywhere, of everything, of all of my experiences. I want to remember them. We didn't take a picture in front of the theater.
There's no evidence that they were at this show.
I didn't even, no, there's none.
Well, you know what though? Like I know I keep like, and I'm not saying that y'all being at the show was like, y'all were not sinning or something. I'm not trying to say that, but it's just a good like analogy to when we do sin and when we are like doing things we know we shouldn't be doing, and we're like in the moment of, that is like the hold the enemy has on us too. It gets so strong, which is so annoying because we're like, we know better. We are faith-filled. We live for Jesus. We are godly. But in these hard moments of life, it gets very hard to be that sometimes. Mm-hmm. Like in the flesh, it's so hard. Like to not want to like do something that's tempting you or do the wrong thing.
When you're in high school or college and you go to a party and you know everything that is around you that's happening is bad.
Bad news, but you stay.
And you know you're going to get yourself in a bad situation.
You're going to be punished. Your mom's going to catch you, but we are staying because why? But
it's bad. It's not honoring God. It's not like, it's just not good. Like nothing about it is good or positive. And you stay because your friends are there and it's life experiences and it's this and it's that. And that's what I think it was. It was like, we all kind of looked at each other like this.
And you're like, but we paid for it and we're here.
But we paid for it and we want to see the end of the story.
The singing's not bad. Like, it's like, it's all these little things make excuses. Yeah. That the enemy, it's truly the devil on one shoulder, the angel on the other thing. And you're like, I should leave, but the singing's good. Get out of here. You already spent the money. Like, it's like that kind of thing. I mean, that happens to us in life every single day.
I will say, I think what's different for me is like, if I would have went and saw that show 5 years ago and it was the same, if it were the same
I already know
scene
what you're about
and
to
show that I've watched or that I saw.
Yep.
5 years ago, I probably would have been like,
cool.
Wow, that was great. Like the music, the singing, like, I don't know that I would have.
That actually gives me the chills.
I don't know that I would have been like, that was icky.
Yeah.
I think I would have been like, cool.
It just shows how much you've grown in your faith and like you're like just your relationship with God alone, and then your faith, the ability to recognize, the ability
to feel that and recognize. It's like we always talk about.
Yes.
If you're new here, we've talked about this before, but it's like you're looking at when you go up higher with God and that relationship with God is here and not here, you are seeing your life in an arena.
You can see it.
Arena.
Yes, it's
and you can look at it, and you know what you want to be a part of, and you know what you don't. Yep. You know what feels good, you know what doesn't. And that to me was like, okay, I was sitting in there and I recognized this isn't right. And when I walked out, I wasn't trying to say, well, it was just a show.
Right. You were like, no.
I was like, no, that wasn't good.
It doesn't matter. It was just a show. Like the message coming from it was
not great.
Not great, and not what you want to be a part of.
Didn't make me feel good. And, maybe it does make some other people feel good. And
it really might.
I was like really hurt for the people that were in the show because I'm like, that's just their job.
I know, but
then I think it transforms into you have to do a job. You don't have to. This is just what I personally believe, that like I want a job that honors my morals and values.
Yeah.
And I want to bring in people that align with those morals and values.
That's right.
And if you don't, that's okay. I'm not for you.
Yeah.
If you don't, you're not for me. And that's okay.
Well, and your job is like, as a lot of people are like, oh, it's just a job. It's just work. But like, let's be honest, your job takes more time of your life than anything else.
Right.
Like you work 9 to 5, let's say. You go home, you eat dinner, you take your bath, you go to bed. You wake up, you make your breakfast, you get to work.
It's probably still on your day, too.
The chunk, yes, it is. It almost like for anyone, like business owners, non-business owners, you're probably thinking about
work.
What do I have to do tomorrow? What did I not finish today? Whatever. Work takes up most of our lives.
Right.
If you're working.
Right.
If you're a working person.
Right.
So if your work and your job and your environment does not align with your morals, you are doing something wrong.
Right.
Period.
Right.
And your morals may not be good, but as long as it aligns with whatever your morals are,
right,
that you feel like, oh, okay, my boss thinks like this, so do I. That's great. If your boss is not like on the same page as you, and y'all have very different views and morals and faith and all these things like that, I would get out of there.
For you. Yeah.
I would get out of there.
Last night, a girl messaged me on TikTok actually, and she saw like on my personal TikTok, we don't have one for the podcast, and I don't have one for my business, so I post everything personal, business, and podcast all on my personal TikTok. And this girl that's in college found me last night, and she said, hey, my name's blah blah blah, I'm a junior in college, I noticed your page, like you're a very faith-filled, Jesus-loving person, and also event planning is something I've always wanted to get into. Like, would you mind talking to me? Can you just kind of explain,
I love
whatever.
That. So your two worlds collided.
I know.
That's so cool.
When I started writing back to her, I just wrote, I'm like, this is how I started. This is why I started. But, at the end of the day, I think you really just need to make sure that your prayers and the answers to your prayers, whether it's yes or no, align with the people you work for and what you're doing, whether it winds up being event planning or not. Because in my life, the most important part of my business and any business I've ever worked in, whether it's me teaching or I've done retail and now this event planning, the most important thing to me is that relationship and finding that relationship, but that all stems from the relationship that you have with God.
100%.
So if that doesn't align, then it's not for you. And that was, I don't know, when I typed that out to her, I'm like, who just wrote that?
Jesus did. I'll tell you who wrote that. God, baby.
I literally was like, who just wrote that?
Jesus wrote it, girl. He's using you.
I'm like, wow,
Yeah, for sure.
Really, that's just where you need to be.
It is.
In your life.
It's true. And like if you're living, I'm telling you, like if you are living for God, and I mean like living for God and pouring into that relationship, as we've said 1,000 times, every other area of your life will start to flourish. And like for me, it's even a big one lately has been like handling confrontation. Like I was saying at the beginning of this episode, I used to kind of just like act on my emotions, and like if something didn't feel right or someone hurt my feelings, I would instantly like respond to that
and let them know.
And now I'm like, I'm very quick to like, okay, if I want to say something, I like go type it in my notes. I like type up what I would say.
And
if I had the,
because you let yourself feel your feelings.
yes, if I had the freedom, and then I tell myself to take 2 days, go back and read it and see how you still feel. Mm-hmm. And like during those 2 days, I like pray over whatever's happening because I'm extremely anxious. So there's no doubt that after it happens, it's leaving my mind. Right. It will be in my mind for probably, I don't know, maybe 6 months. You will live rent free in my head. So for all you people that hurt my feelings, you're still in there. And depending on how bad it could be years ago that you're still floating in this mind of mine. But I write it out, I go read it, and then I every single time I'm like, I would never say that. Like that is not nice. I would never say it. That's not. And by usually even 2 days, everything's calmed down a little. Yeah. I feel different about the situation. And a big thing that's just been so like to me, it is like to be a godly person, you have to treat others, even those who do you wrong, even those who like completely hurt you, say something that hurts you, do something that hurts you, you have to still love them. And you have to give them grace. And you have to just let it go. You don't get to fight back.
But God does that for us.
He will handle it. But that has been one of the hardest lessons for me is to just be like, and even when you like talk about it to someone and they're like, no, you need to tell her or you need to do this. And you're like, I can't. I'm not allowed. Like, I can't. God tells me not to do that.
Well, that would also be like if you make a mistake, big mistake, and you go and tell God, look, I made this mistake. Yep. And he comes at you.
You made this mistake.
You made this mistake. You did.
After all I did for you.
I'm writing you off.
Yeah.
Could you imagine?
He would never. He will never. And he begs of us to do that to people around us. Because if we all can do that, think how like happy everything could be.
Yeah.
Or just like peaceful. And there's nothing wrong, guys, with feeling your feelings. And like, I think there's a big difference in like, and I get taken advantage of a lot because I'm overly kind. But I've been known to pop back if like it hurts me enough or like if you said something that really pissed me off and I'm like, well, look. So to kind of like take that down and to be like, and as it always goes back to what we always say, hurt people. So typically they have a lot of things going on that made them
react or act the way they did.
Did you really do anything wrong? Like, if I know in my heart of hearts I did nothing wrong, like I did everything I could have done, then I just have to
Yeah.
And that's hard.
Pass it back.
That is so hard. But he literally, I mean, I've been reading about it like a lot lately, and like he's like begs of us too. It doesn't matter like what people do to you, treat them with love the same way I do to you.
Yeah.
And another like big section of it is like give to give, not to get the clout from giving. And, you know, the more you pour into this, the more I'm going to pour into that. But it's not about like the show of like, I donated this much money or I gave all this away for free because like I want y'all to tell me I'm a good person. Like the more you just do under the radar and just do for between you and God, the better your life is going to be too.
Do you ever hear, I was thinking about this the other day, like the most successful people are quiet.
Yeah, it's true. Like they're not boastful. They're not like, look at this, look at this, da-da-da. Like they're just going.
Okay, I'm going to ask this question because I was thinking about this the other day. Like, again, I feel like I am loud on social media. Loud in a way.
I feel loud too.
Yeah. But then I was sitting and thinking, there is like a big, I don't know, I maybe show one third, 1/4 of my life on social media.
For sure.
There is a lot that goes on in my life that people know nothing about.
I have no idea.
And a lot of people think that when they see me that they know everything, right?
Well, it's what you allow them in to see.
Right.
You know, so people can think they know everything about you and you act like you're giving everything, but there's a lot of it you're not giving that you keep private.
Right.
Yeah.
But then I was thinking to myself the other day about that saying of, you know, most successful people are quiet, right? The most successful people are quiet. And then I'm thinking about this world that we live in where it's like you have to be loud to get the business. You have to show up and show yourself to get the business. You have to put yourself out there. You have to be very active in the community. You have to. And like yesterday, I was tired. And I thought to myself, why am I doing?
Yeah.
But like, do I really have to? Do I not? God, please lead me just to the things that I have to go to and have to show up at and have to show that I don't even know how to say it. Like,
well, it's almost like draining to feel like you like have to be at every event and you have to be at every community, like for Let's Make Plans even. Like, I got to show up. I got to be there. People need to know me. But I'll tell you what, I don't even feel like going to most of that stuff like even has ever brought me business.
Really?
Like, maybe it's just me. Maybe I just suck. But I'm like, I feel like
it depends. Okay, hold on. Let's backtrack. It depends on what business you're in. It depends on what you're showing, what you're giving, what you...
Right.
I think it depends.
Yeah, I think it depends.
You know, like I go to events because I want to put on more events. So I want to meet the event manager or the general manager or the whatever.
You're getting your name out there.
To show up in
That's
that
like
space.
you meeting your clients.
Right. But again, I'm also very, like we say, I'm a baby business.
Yeah.
You know, I'm still learning and growing with certain venues and managers and people and things.
Yeah, I think it's like there's a part of it that like you do have to be loud enough to where you like people have to know you exist, because if you're not on social media, you technically like don't exist. I tell my new stylist that all the time. I'm like, if you're not making a name for yourself on Instagram, you kind of just don't exist, because there's so many hair salons, there's so many hairstylists, and the ones that are posting are the ones that exist. Mm-hmm. So it's like, unfortunately, yes, but I think you do a good job at you don't overshare. Like, you don't have to overshare, and you don't have to like take someone in the bathtub with you and like be like, it's the end of my day. Like, you know, but you do enough to where people like see your stories and they think they know what you did all day.
Yeah.
But they don't know if you bathed or showered. You know what I'm saying?
I do bathe and shower every day.
Well, I mean, like bath versus shower.
I do.
Are you a bath or a shower girl? Or both?
Both.
See, I'm a bath. I want to take my bath every single night.
But that's also because you get
now
your hair washed.
Now people know about our baths.
You get your hair washed at your
told
hair salon.
Too much. Yeah, I do. Or I just when I wash my hair, I take a shower.
Right.
But every other time, like I will skip a hair wash that needs to be done
so you can take
the warm bath. To soak in that.
Do you know that you can take a shower and then sit in the bathtub, or you can sit in the bathtub and then
I've done
get in
it,
the shower
but
and wash your hair?
in between is too cold to even bear. To run butt naked from the shower to the tub is like, it's true.
I can't.
I know for a fact one of you people listening can relate to like trying to run from the shower.
I agree.
And then you have to like fill the tub.
What about when you're like me and your bathtub and your shower are the same? And so you have to drain your bathtub to take a shower.
I forgot about you peasants.
Yeah, I was about to say these measly
Everyone listening
people.
is probably like, no, mine is the same. Same shower. Okay. Forgot about that. Back in my gap, I used to do that.
Okay.
That makes sense. But like now it's like a whole thing. Like shower and then you have to fill the tub up because you can't do the tub and the shower at the same time.
Why not?
There's the hot water. I want it hot. I want to be burnt, baby.
Turn up your water heater.
Oh, it's up. I want to be burnt.
So you
I want to be red.
You like to be red.
Oh, I am scorching. And you know what?
Your skin to
Mom
tingle.
hack. Learn how to take that scorching water, because then your kids will stop getting in the tub when you're in there. Because they're like, ow, mommy hot. I'm like, yeah, sorry.
Sorry, it's mommy bath.
Mommy bath. And they're like, why
mommy
so hot?
Mommy bath.
Why so hot? I'm like, so you don't get in here.
Oh my gosh.
But I love a hot bath. Like, I want to be red. When I get out, I'm red.
Scorching.
Yeah, I got a little sunburn.
I will say we've really jumped and squirreled and moved all along. But this is
we've
life.
Had some good little points.
Yeah, and this is real life.
And like we're just out here doing the Lord's work.
We are. Can we talk about, if you are watching, can we talk about our beautiful new girl behind
Mary,
me?
She's stunning. Jesus'
Mary.
mom, you know, she gave birth to him on December 25th.
Bailey and I went to an event.
His birthday's coming, y'all.
For Thanksgiving, Girlfriends in Gratitude.
Little Girls
and
Day.
We were very grateful. And I just want to give a little shout out to our girl, Abigail Reller Art.
Yes, y'all. She's beautiful. Mary's beautiful. If you don't know her, like I said, she's Jesus' mama. She gave birth to him. His birthday's coming. That's why we celebrate Christmas. Just a reminder. It's not about the presents. It's about Jesus. And we're so excited to celebrate his party. We should have did a cake today.
I think we're coming back one more time.
Oh, yeah, we are.
Before.
Okay, we'll bring a cake
I think y'all are going to hear us one more time before Christmas.
We'll
throw him a birthday party.
Yeah, I think it'll be like Christmas week.
Yeah.
That Christmas Eve. Is it Christmas Eve on a Monday?
No, it's on a Tuesday.
Gosh golly. Christmas Eve.
Yeah,
we're
Christmas
gonna celebrate.
Eve. We'll come back. We'll come back for y'all.
We're gonna
we'll have
Jesus a party. We're gonna have him a party.
We're gonna sing Jesus a party. We are gonna have a party for Jesus.
Should we exchange our Christmas gifts that day?
Yes.
At the party, and we could pretend they're like, oh, we got
our
you
presents.
A gift, Jesus, but you're not here, so we'll open them.
Are you okay?
No, this y'all remindings coffee.
Gets you like
it gets me so hyper. I love it.
Oh my gosh. Well, anyway.
Okay, yeah. So Mary's here with us.
Here's our girl.
She's stunning.
If you don't know her, you should know her.
She's stunning. She really is a good girl.
And one day we'll get Abigail to tell us why she does.
Yeah, she told us, and it was really sweet.
It is. It's really sweet and it's wonderful. So if you don't follow her, definitely go follow her.
Yeah, she's
her art
great.
is beautiful. It's wonderful. We are very blessed and thankful to now have Mary as a part of our pod because
she's cute.
It's our girl.
That's our girl. I mean, if you're a mom, especially, like she's Jesus's mama.
Right.
That's a big deal.
There's no one closer.
There's no one closer. Oh, he was in the womb. Mary's womb. Oh,
so what?
I'm just getting weird. Change
you are getting weird.
Change it.
No, when I was
Are you about to read something?
When I was going to grab my painting of Mary to bring with me today, this book was sitting right next to it. So I figured I would just grab it and whatever I flipped to, maybe I should read today.
Okay, read us a story. What is it? What's the book?
It's called The Little Book of Prayers. My friend Noelle,
it's a little prayer.
My friend Noelle actually gave it to me for one of my birthdays.
So you're going to give us a little prayer?
Yeah.
A little living on a prayer moment.
Pick a number.
Oh gosh. What do you mean?
Pick a number 1 to 1. Oh.
Are you serious?
68.
22.
Okay. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling
Happy
22.
Happy birthday, Jesus.
Is he turning 22?
I'm so glad it's Christmas.
Oh, you're not gonna like this one.
Are you serious? 11. Why wouldn't I like it?
11 is just a picture, so you have to pick another number.
Actually, that's so relatable.
It's really pretty.
When I used to read books, I used to only look at the pictures.
It's really pretty. Oh, this is really cool.
Kristen, are you going to read us a prayer?
I'm going to read you a little prayer, but...
Golly. She don't even know what she brought. You need me to open my Bible?
No, I do. What do you mean? I do know what I got. I'm just...
She's telling me to pick a number.
It's more of... I'll be real in saying this. This is more... They're Christian prayers,
they're
but
Catholic.
They're more... I feel like they're more Catholic.
AKA, I don't know what's going on in that book.
I think you would just be like, cool. Okay, cool. Give me one. Give me another number.
Oh my gosh. My third number is going to be...
The best one yet.
17.
Why are you picking such low
numbers?
Am
I supposed to go higher? I don't really... You know what?
17 is also a picture. Pick an even number.
I do love even numbers, but I picked 22.
Pick a high even number.
80.
That's not high.
That's not. I thought you said out of 100.
164.
Lord have mercy.
You don't listen. Do you listen to me?
You just pick your own prayer then.
Oh, this is pretty on par.
Okay, here we go. About time. See?
Prayer to Our Lady of the Traveling People.
I'm traveling tomorrow.
You are traveling tomorrow, and I'm sure a lot of people are traveling
for Chrysler
for Christmas. So here's the picture that goes along with it.
You're like my little teacher.
Yeah, I am. Look, did your teachers used to read like this? Okay.
Class.
Prayer to Our Lady of the Traveling People. Our Lady of the Traveling People invites you, your family, and your friends to take the road to meet her, to entreat her, and to entrust her, your children, and your life, your work, your dear departed. In taking to the road, you begin your pilgrimage. Think of this. The difficulties of the road, the poverty, the worries, the suffering are already a prayer and a preparation towards meeting Mary and her son, Jesus. Come, they are waiting for you.
Wow. So let me ask you something.
What?
So... like being Catholic, like
I don't know where this is going, so I'm just like.
Well, how do you keep up with all the people that you got to pray to, like, or that you know, all the saints and stuff? Like, how do you know them all?
Well, they all have different. I guess you would call them specialties.
Like, you know, people be hiding that guy in their grass when they're selling their house.
That's Saint Joseph.
Yeah, and then what's the other one? There's a couple, like when you lose something.
When you lose something, Saint Anthony. But like Saint Anthony, okay, so Saint Anthony is also the patron saint of lost articles and finding love.
Well, you praying to him?
Yeah,
okay.
I do.
Just check. I might need to start praying to Saint Anthony for you.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I never like, you know.
So
if you're not Catholic,
everyone that has been and become a saint, right? Like they
has a specialty,
thing, right? Like they have a thing, and it's based basically on what their life work was.
Wow.
And has been, you know, like there's a patron saint of dogs. There is a patron saint of doctors. There is a patron saint of, you know, of marriages and things like that. So
that's pretty cool.
Then they have these things called novenas.
I hear you talk about that all the time, and I'm like, yeah, the novena.
Yeah, and you don't know what they are?
I mean, I feel like I've learned now through you.
What are they?
The like, is that the one that's like the daily?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
not prayer, but the
yes. No, you like say the same prayer daily for it depends on how many days it is, but it always
happening.
Yes, and then it ends on their feast day. So. You know, say you want to pray for something specific.
I love it.
Like for anxiety. If you want to pray for anxiety.
Oh, who's that one?
I don't. Off the top of my head, I actually don't know.
Well, I need that one.
Okay. I don't have my phone by me, so otherwise I would. You know what? When we come back.
We'll let y'all know.
Stay tuned. I will let you know. I'll figure out who it is.
That's a cool tidbit. Because, like, I mean, obviously y'all know she's Catholic. I'm not. So, like, a lot of times we just talk. Like, I'm just a learning girl.
Yeah. I love it.
I like to know. I like to be in the know. Mm-hmm. You know?
Yeah.
If you know, you know. If you don't know, you don't know what you don't know.
That's fact.
All right. Well.
You have a little tidbit for us?
No, I was looking for my freaking. I shouldn't have said freaking.
You're freaking fracking?
I was looking. I thought I marked it, but I think my little bookmarker came out because it was like I was sitting on my Bible a little. But it was the verse about like how to treat people. Okay, here it is. Okay. I found it. So this is Matthew, where's the beginning? Oh, Matthew 5. I lost it already. Are you freaking kidding me? Here it is. Matthew 5:43. That doesn't sound right. Is that right?
I don't know.
Yeah, it is. Okay. Sometimes the Bible confuses me. Like all the numbers, I'm like, what? But
Matthew chapter 5, verse 43.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. Here it is. Actually, I'm going to go up 1 to 38 because this is kind of long, but I'm just going to go. I'm going to skip that. It'd be kind of long. So like also go read like Matthew chapter 5 because it talks a lot about it, but it's long. It's a lot. I don't want to get too wordy on y'all at the end here, but teaching about love for enemies. For enemies. I got enemies.
Got a lot of enemies. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
You have heard the law that says, love your neighbor and hate your enemy. But I say, love your enemies. Pray for those who persecute you. In that way, you will be acting as true children of your Father in heaven. For he gives his sunlight to both the evil and the good, and he sends rain on just the unjust alike. If you love only those who love you, what reward is there for that? Even corrupt tax collectors do that much. If you are kind only to your friends, how are you different from anyone else? But you are to be perfect even as your Father in heaven is perfect. So basically, it's like if you're only nice to people who are nice to you, that makes you no different than the mean people.
Right.
That makes you no different than the people who do things that hurt you or do bad things or ungodly things. You're just as equal as them when you're only nice to people who are nice to you.
Right.
So that's a part of it. But if y'all read all of Matthew, it like really goes into like not judging people and like how to handle like when people do you wrong and all that stuff. It's really good.
Okay. Matthew 5, that's everybody's homework.
Go read Matthew. Actually, just read the book of Matthew. It's like way past chapter 5, but it's a good one. It's good.
Okay. Love that.
Okay, guys.
Enjoy your Christmas
We'll see y'all
season.
at Jesus' birthday party next week or 2 weeks from now. We'll be celebrating Our King.
Wear your favorite Christmas sweater.
Happy birthday. Oh, yeah. Let's do that.
Okay.
That's a wrap.